Hello, and welcome to episode 11 of The Good, the Dan, the Florida Man. Thank you for tuning in. With you, as always, your hosts.
I'm the good. I'm Ryan. Oh man.
And I feel like you're doing it on purpose at this point.
I wish. I forget every time, and my week in the life will explain kind of where I'm at. And with me is, Daniel, and we have Mr.
I'm Ben. Hi, I'm the Florida Man. Oh man, okay. Hi, thank you for tuning in to The Good, the Dan, the Florida Man. If this is your first time listening, hello. We are Ben, Ryan, and Dan. We are three stand-up comedians who kind of got forced onto TikTok after the world shut down and decided that we should start a podcast because three white men with a podcast is going to be what saves the world. We're sure of it. And 11 episodes in, things are getting better, I think. I don't know. If you are a returning listener to the podcast, just a quick heads up, we are changing the format just a little bit to make things easier for mostly just us. Yeah, this is going to ruin your life, but it'll make our lives so much easier. Instead of, when we do story time, which is my favorite part, instead of all three of us sharing a story, there will only be one story from one of us per week. It'll make the episodes a little bit shorter for sure, but it'll make our personal three lives way easier, which is the only thing that matters, I know, to you. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, nothing is changing. This is exactly how we've always done it.
Mm-hmm. Totally the same every time.
Like I said, we are stand-up comedians, and the world is slowly opening back up. So if you did want to see us live, you have opportunities to do that. Ryan, do you have any shows coming up?
Yeah, I got the DC Comedy Loft coming up at some point. I think it's in November. They booked far out. And then I think that I'm also doing some shows for like Flappers Comedy Club in LA, but that's also booked really far out. As well as by the time this releases, I'll probably be going home from Texas. So but I'm going to be trying to perform in Austin, having some fun there, really just getting up on some shows, not doing anything too crazy. But that's going to be fun. I'm actually I'm going to Texas just to like look at their places to see like where we could record things. Like whether I do a premiere. I just can't wait. But it looks nice. Dan, what about you?
I am still doing open mics in Utah, but I do have a show. I guess when this airs, it won't be there.
Yeah.
But on May 16th to Sunday, which is the Comedy Church at Improv Broadway. So come and check me doing sermons. A comedic sermon.
Ooh,
Ben.
how exciting.
You're
just going to get up there and be like, husbands, submit to your wives. Even though this episode is being released on May 22nd, so you fully missed that show, anybody who's listening right now. But there are I do have some stuff coming up.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. May 27th, they'll be in Los Angeles at the Violet Cactus. June 6th, they'll be in Wesley Chapel at the New Side Splitters. June 16th, they'll be in Daytona Beach at the Hilton Daytona Beach Oceanfront Resort. June 23rd, they'll be in Atlanta at the True by Hilton Atlanta Galleria Ballpark. August 13th, they'll be in Tallahassee at the Crumbox Beer Garden. August 21st, I'll be in Boca Raton at the Boca Black Box. And November 12th through the 14th, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale at Anime Con inside the Marriott North Hotel.
Yay!
Man,
I have a question. Does Boca Raton, does that mean mouth of the rat?
Yeah, rat mouth.
Okay, gotcha.
Absolutely,
cool.
Yeah. That's a very actually just pretty affluent city in Southeast Florida. It's like north of Miami.
Neat. Huh.
Yeah.
No,
I just all of a sudden my brain like hyper focused on that. I was like, wait.
Absolutely. We also have one that's Punta Gorda, which means fat point. Yeah, we're pretty good with the Spanish down here. We speak it fluently, which means richly.
Richly. Yeah.
Oh man. So I had a couple interesting, fun things happen this week in my life. If we're just gonna jump right into a week in the life.
Yeah, week in the life.
Yeah. So, fun note about the podcast. Actually, next week we will have the band Ripe on the podcast for an interview. Yeah, and I'm very excited about that because I'm a big fan of Ripe. They're like a funk pop group based out of Massachusetts. And I thought, when I first started listening to them, I thought they were just like huge. And then I found out, like, no, I'm bigger than them on social media. Which I guess at this point doesn't really mean a whole lot, but like it's still shocking to me because I'm like, these guys are wildly talented and everyone should know about them. And then I found out like, oh, this is their Patreon. And I was like, no way, this is actually their Patreon. They're a big band. They don't need this. And I looked and I was like, no, okay, for sure. This is actually their Patreon. So I just messaged them and I was like, hey, you want to be on a podcast? And after some back and forth, they fully agreed. So next week we'll be interviewing the band Ripe, R-I-P-E, and I'm excited about that. Another thing I'm excited about, I actually just got booked. By the time this episode comes out, it will have already happened yesterday. But I just got booked to headline my home club, the Orlando Improv. Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
That's
beautiful.
On a Friday. Not even like an... So what actually happened was Godfrey... fantastic comedian, by the way. If you don't know who Godfrey is, you are messing up. Go find Godfrey. He's amazing. He comes through like once a year. He had to cancel his Friday shows because he's doing some TV thing. And the general manager reached out to me and was like, are you in town and available on this day? Which 11 days out. And I was like, yeah, but like I can't promise anything good is going to happen if you're giving me 11 days. And she's like, yeah, I know. That's fine. Don't worry about it. And so, yeah. And then my buddy Akeem, who I started like, he was already a headliner when I started comedy in Orlando. Akeem Woods. Ryan, you probably know him.
I know Akeem. Okay, yeah. I was like, wait, I know Akeem. Okay,
yeah, he moved out to LA like a year into me doing comedy. He moved out there with Justin Lawson. And
he knows my roommate, and we actually went and got
Ahmed,
drink. He was like, yeah, very funny. Okay, carry on. Yeah, that's just so weird.
Last time he was in town, he was telling me about it. He's like, yeah, I know his roommate a lot more than him, but yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's good. His whole persona is a nice guy, but yeah. But yeah, he was supposed to be opening for Godfrey, and he still will be on like that Saturday and Sunday. But now he's opening for me on Friday. And I was like, there's no way he's not going to feel a little bit better about this. Oh, man, but that's all that really happened this week. So, Ryan?
Actually, I think we want to go with Dan?
Yeah, we'll go Dan. Yeah, Dan, what you got?
Me first, because Ryan's got some pretty good, juicy goss. I had a 5-hour interview on Saturday. 5 hours of long, extended interview time. It was very fun. I also...
What are the questions?
I had a job interview, so we'll see how that goes. I can't talk about it right now, but we'll see what happens. We'll see where that goes. Hopefully you'll have some updates within like a month-ish, but we'll see what happens.
Hey man, we're rooting for you, whatever it is. Unless it's a thing that we shouldn't be rooting for, then we're not rooting for it. But like we support you.
Thank you.
That's the whole hey, not gonna read all that, but like congrats or I'm sorry, whichever one.
Whichever one flows right.
And then in other news, I bought my first bit of catnip and a laser pointer because of the foster cats that I own or have. And I've been having a great time this week. It's been fantastic sitting in my living room and watching them run around and chase that thing all week. So that's my very boring week this week. Ryan, get into the interesting stuff.
I just remembered how long this week has felt, and it feels like 9 years. Holy cow. Okay. I'm going to move my mic a little closer to make sure everyone can hear this chaos. So I'm home in Missouri right now, but I didn't start this week home in Missouri. I actually started this week, and I have a brand new PC. I've got a tower, and it should work, but it doesn't. which makes me unfathomably angry because I spent so much money on it. So I had to drive it 60 miles down to Micro Center, which built it, to be like, hey, you know, it doesn't work anymore. And when it caused me, I scratched my car with it on accident. That made me feel very sad. It's gonna get worse. I bring it into Micro Center and I give it to them, and they're like, "It's fine." And I go, "Well, here's the funny thing about it being fine is it's not." But they're gonna.
He's getting so heated right now,
dude. I hate computers so much. Like honestly, like this
they're
guy,
listening, Ryan.
I know they are. They can. I don't care.
Skynet is gonna get you first.
I hope so. Get me out of this pain of computer world. Because there's the thing, it's running Call of Duty when I'm trying to play it on stream in like 30 FPS. I have like my PC should be able to run the space shuttle. So I don't know what's happening. And it's driving me crazy. Anyway, so I took it down there, and then I was like, they were like, can you come pick it up tomorrow? And I was like, I leave tomorrow for Missouri. And they were like, so that's a no? And I was like, are you listening to any of the words that I say out loud?
I'm Youth Pastor Ryan of TikTok. Thank you very much.
No, I did not.
There will be a TikTok made of this.
I gotta admit, there was a little bit of salt to me that I did the math. I was like, if I can, because here's the thing, this is a pretty expensive computer, and they totally screwed me. And I was like, look, I'm no math expert, but like if I can mobilize 3% of my audience to cost you $300 a pop, which is pretty standard for like Micro Center, it's gonna get expensive real quick.
And I will.
Like please don't.
I like that you calculated it down to the percentage of audience that you needed. You were like, I just have to get 3% of this.
Well, actually, 3%, like anywhere from 2 to 5% is considered like regular or like normalization. So I was just like, look, if I can do 3%, which I'm pretty sure I can, like you're in trouble. Like this is not a good thing. And I'll tell before. One time I parked my car in this place in LA, and my car got broken into, and it was supposed to be like a safe place that you could park your car near the airport, and they weren't going to pay for it. They were like, no, we're just not going to do that. And so I went there, and this is before any TikTok or anything like that. I just stood there with a sign that said like, this place is like, will not protect your car. And you know, it's weird. After 4 months of them dodging my calls, I started getting calls. It was beautiful. And they paid for it. So this is a thing. I'm just like, don't screw me over. I've had enough of that. So anyway, I fly back to Missouri. I get home. My parents don't know I'm coming home because it's Mother's Day, and I pop up and I go and I see my mom. It's Mother's Day. It's very nice. But I've been trying to get meds from this like a doctor was prescribing me sleeping meds, and I can't get these sleeping meds. I've tried for 4 days to get them by CVS, and CVS is just like, we don't have them. And I'm like, I'm calling the doctor.
Walgreens.
Well, there's things. We also tried Walgreens, and the doctor's sending me the things that's saying it's verified that they have received it. And they're still like, nah, we can't get it. And I'm like, here's the
delivery person took one on accident, and he's been sleeping on the side of the road for 5 days now.
For days. I mean,
somebody needs to check on him.
Well, at one point I was like, I just lied because I knew they didn't know which medications were coming in. I go, look, man, one of them's an antipsychotic. Can we please figure this out?
I will eat your face.
I just wanted to take it seriously because it kept hanging up on me. And I was like, no, I can see it. I can see that it's verified. I was like, stop being rude. And so I was like, it's an antipsychotic. And then all of a sudden, man, they start treating you real different when you say that. Like the
threat of psychosis is very, very real.
Same reaction if you just told them you're really good friends with a Florida man.
Right? Oh. Next time, I'm going to combo both together, and I guarantee you they'll walk it to my apartment.
Yeah. You're just going to be like, one of them is an antipsychotic, and it belongs to my friend who's from Florida. So.
What does this tell you? Yeah, so
he has pets that he shouldn't.
Yeah, they're big. They eat things. Anyway, I went and I finally got them. It finally came through. Turns out that like something had gone wrong with when she submitted it, I'd seen her submit it with my correct birthday, but when it went through to CVS and Walgreens, it like missed a 1, and so I was born on April 8th instead of April 18th. And but here's the thing: the Walgreens here was like, oh, we know what this is, and they just fixed it for me, like a totally capable business organization.
Well, Walgreens at the corner of Healthy and Happy. CVS is just at the other corner.
That's so true. But yeah, I got this medication for the last 3 days. I've been pretty much sleeping the whole time. I've slept 16 hours twice for a day. Like 2 days, I slept 16 hours each, and I don't know what's going on. And here's the thing, I titrated it down. I took the first version, and that was just full, and that wasn't good. But I took this one. This one is half, and I slept for 16 hours. I told the guys this earlier, but I woke up at a normal time, but then I crawled out of my bed because I couldn't wake up, and my dreams are getting wild. I'm having dreams that I'm having sleep paralysis and then waking up into sleep paralysis.
Which is rude, by the way. Like,
so
I don't,
rude.
like, I know it's bad and it's hurtful and, like, but honestly, also just super rude of your sleep paralysis demon to not even wait.
Right? Well, not only that, like, also,
He's accepting all of your dreamscapes at this point.
He's Freddy Krueger.
Set yourself up with like a bucket and a chair, or like a bathtub and a chair, and just do
A bucket and a mop.
That's a WAP.
That's
a paralysis demon.
Dude, also, all my dreams, I don't know what's up with it, but I just can't wear pants in dreams to save my life. And I'm getting super uncomfortable with it. Like, I am
okay,
just
do you want to
pantsless.
unpack that? Do you want to maybe?
I prefer not to.
Okay.
I gotta quit being in airports naked. It's
What are you
weird.
wearing right now?
I gotta be honest, just this shirt. I'm not wearing pants.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah. No. And the dreams don't actually mean anything, by the way. That's like a
Look, we're filming chest up. I don't need pants.
Your sleep paralysis demon wants you to be comfortable as he's haunting you. That's what he's like.
That's the thing that he
on.
does first is he goes and he takes your pants off and he's like he didn't mean to fall asleep like this. Let me just whoop. Okay, we're done with those. Yeah. And then he's like, hey buddy, hey, wake up. Okay, don't move. But like, wake up.
Stay. Yeah. But yeah, so this morning, to put it in perspective of kind of how this went. This morning, I woke up at like a normal time, but then I just couldn't move. And so I just crawled to my door in my room. I opened it up so I could see daylight. And I was like, that'll help wake me up. And then I just fell asleep for another 4 hours in between my door. And my dad comes up at one point. He's like, what are you doing?
Just on the floor, in between the door.
Yeah.
You looked like you were on a mission to, like, I don't know, the bathroom or something, and then you got halfway there and you're like, just go on without me.
Actually, really, no, the bathroom's the other door in my room, so we don't even know where I look. I straight up look like in a murder investigation. Like, what was he crawling to? Like the phone? Like, we don't know.
This is like that you climbed to the door instead of to the curtain for daylight. That's my other
Well, so behind this green screen is like, but the green screen's a pain to move. So
yeah, you know that one scene in Lone Survivor where the guy is just like crawling to the top of the mountain so he can put out the call to be like, we're here, come save. That's you, just like crawling, and you get there and you're like, sunlight, save me, wake me up, and the sunlight is like, I'll make you warm, and that'll be like another blanket, and then you're just like, okay, and then you fell asleep right on that cliff face. And then, like, 15 minutes later, the Chinook came and it blew up. But
yeah, it didn't go well. It was a bad time.
It was. You crawled for nothing. Is the whole point of that analogy.
Yeah, no.
I could have used a better one, but I didn't.
No, I thought it was a good one. And yeah, so that was that was a week in the life of. I still need to get my computer back. I got a show on Friday that was booked super last minute. But cool, I'm going to Pennsylvania. Guys, I don't know what's up with Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania hires me a lot. I don't know why.
It's the city of brotherly love, or the state
wonderful.
that has the city
nice.
of brotherly love.
Yeah, I just don't know. I feel like I've got a very large community in Pennsylvania that wants to see my comedy. I love it, but I'm so confused how that happened.
It's the all of the Amish. They're just like, he's just a sweet, sweet boy.
Look at that young man.
Is that where the Amish people live? I don't know geography or like.
Pennsylvania has a very large Amish population. Like in between, there's Pennsylvania, there's Philadelphia on the East Coast, and then Pittsburgh on the West Coast of Pennsylvania, and in the middle is mountains, Hicks, and Amish people.
Oh, nice. I was gonna ask Ryan if they pay him in butter, but
oh my gosh,
fresh churned.
Yeah, they're like churning as you're performing. They're like, it's almost ready. We promise.
Yeah. It's almost spring, and next time we can have fun when you're here. But for now, like, next time the butter's going to be spiked. So like, just wow, that's intense.
Oh,
spiked butter sounds horrible. Anyway, that was a week in the life where I've just been barely functional.
Oh, Dan. Dan's back. Okay, we're good.
Guess who's back?
Back. Good, Dan.
Dan is back. Tell Dan. Okay, anyway, I'm done with that.
No.
It's time for Ben's favorite thing, and we're getting a story from Ben this week.
Story time. God, I love story time.
Whoa,
Okay.
I did that too much. You got dizzy.
I don't know if I told this story last week or the week before, but recently I told the story about when I won the Best Warrior competition for the first time.
Yes.
And I don't know if I included it in that story or not, but I won it twice in a row.
Yes,
I went back the following year.
Desperately wanted to know the rest.
So what happened the second year is I did the first year with no preparation whatsoever, and I was like, well, I mean, it's fun. It's 4 days. They pay me for 4 days just for like constant like physical work, and I genuinely enjoy like confidence courses, land nav.
Yes.
It's not torture to me. I love that stuff. Jungle gyms were my vibe. When my dad graduated Ranger school or like airborne, it was airborne school. My dad graduated airborne school at the age of 40 or 41. I was like 8 when he graduated. Yeah, my dad joined the army at 40 years old. That was his. Look, we have a bunch of other stories. So
That's a story later, though. That's a big story later.
But like, so. I was at his graduation when he was in like formation with his unit before like graduation. I found the rope that they all climb as part of training, and it's maybe like a 20-foot rope, I think, but it's not secured at the bottom, which makes it hard. They're just like, oh, you have to make sure that the rope's not swinging the whole time. And I was 8, and I just climbed to the top of it, and I was just hanging on, waving at my dad from the top of this rope, and just like this tiny person, and this like, so that's who I am. My dad got smoked for that, by the way. The sergeant was like, whose brother is that? And my dad was like, that's my son. And he's like, just start pushing, old man. And my dad was like, okay. And the sergeant looked at everybody else and was like, and some of you couldn't even do that.
That's so funny. That's amazing.
That's just who I've always been. I love stuff like that. So just like, I enjoyed it. They paid me more than they should have for just 4 days of like Boy Scouts. Basically, it was a Boy Scout camp for 4 days.
Adventure time. Like, it sounds like fun.
Well, I mean, it's not like fun, but it wasn't like painful. I've been through way worse, and so I was like, yeah, I'll do that again.
You got gassed on the porta potty. You've been through worse.
Yeah. And usually what happens, they schedule it at the same time that my unit is supposed to go to this place called Camp Blanding. And that is way worse. Spending 4 days with my unit at Blanding doing what we're supposed to be doing is way worse than doing 4 days of this stuff, because what we're supposed to be doing is like very little for a lot of people. So it's a lot of just trying to find stuff to make yourself look busy. And I'm awful at that. I will just look not busy. It's just, I'm not doing anything. And so I was like, I'll do it again this year. And I said it way ahead of time because there was a new sergeant major that was taking over. The old one he was retiring, and the new one came in, and he found me specifically because he was like, hey, I know you won this last one. Are you going to do it again this year? And I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then my sergeant like elbowed me in the arm. I was like, maybe, Sergeant. Yes, Sergeant Major.
That's so funny.
And he's like, good. I'm excited to see you there. Okay. And he's very high speed, like on it. Loved this stuff. He's like, it's going to be fun. We're going to do a lot more stuff. I was like, cool. Told my unit way ahead of time. I was like, I want to do this. Make sure I get the information. My unit's like, gotcha. What I got was a text the night before at 9 p.m. with just a picture, a cell phone picture of a crumpled packing list. That is all I got. Wow. I told them months out I wanted to go. Not an email, no nothing. Just a picture from a cell phone at 9 p.m. the night before, and only because I asked about it. I was like, hey, is this still happening? And they were like, yeah. And then nothing for hours. And then the picture of the packing list. And they were like, you have to be in Blanding by 9 a.m. And Blanding is a 3-hour drive from me.
Oh, my gosh.
No.
Yeah, I packed up everything, fell asleep. I read like the beginning of the packing list, and it was like a welcome letter. And nowhere in the welcome letter did it say, like, you have to be there at 9 a.m., So I was just like, I'm not going to get there at 9 a.m. I got there at 2 PM, and I walked in, and they were like, "Hey, are you on this list?" And I was like, "God, I hope so." And honestly, at this point, I might not be.
You're like, I have a crumpled up piece of paper on a photo.
Yeah, it was like, this is all I have. And they were like,
invite?
and they're like, okay, well, you're still here early. And I was like, damn.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah, apparently they didn't start orientation, like actual orientation, until 3. So you got there really early. They showed you where you're going to be sleeping, blah, 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 checked you in, all that stuff. So I got there at 2 PM. They gave me like directions to the open barracks that I'd be sleeping in. And they were like, go drop your duffel bag off, come back, orientation's at 3. And I was like, okay, fine. I came back in. A lot more people were competing this round. This sergeant major was on it, dude. And he skipped battalion level. We just went straight to, this was brigade level. So there were a lot more people on it. Everyone there was like way more high speed than the first round. So I was like, this is a really good chance that I don't win. Just even if I try in this one, I might not win, which bodes very well for me. Because I, again, do not want to move on to the next round.
Because again, doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Is going to win on accident because Ben.
Yeah. Because if I move on to the next round, it gets like way more intense and it's like longer and they're probably not going to tell me about that either. So if I could just not even be in the running, that'd be great. But we get their orientation, blah, blah, blah. At one point during the orientation, the sergeant major goes, okay, single file, alphabetical order, line up, hand me your packet. And I was like, that is not a thing that I currently have. I don't know what a packet is, what's supposed to be in it or nothing. So I just line up and I was like, he'll figure it out. And I get up to the front of the line and he goes, packet. And I go, yep, that would be a thing. I'm also confused as to where it is. Sergeant Major. I don't know.
I'm also confused. Yeah.
He's like, what unit? And they looked up at this point. He like looked up to see, oh, I know. What? Okay, yeah, they're gonna hear from me. And I was like, I mean, like, they just don't even know. Like, that's fine, too. I'm not on their sign-in roster, so they're probably paying me for going to their drill as well. So if I can just get double pay from doing these things, that'd be cool. Just don't tell them that I'm here. Is that cool? And he was like, no, they're gonna hear from me. I was like, what's supposed to be in the packet? And he's like, every piece of information that I wanted to know about you is supposed to be in this packet. You're also supposed to know about that packet because I asked your unit to have you write a personal like biography about yourself so that you can tell me about you in that packet. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not in there.
Yeah, I don't do biographies because they don't want me to, apparently.
If I wasn't wasting everybody else's time at that moment, I would have been like, it wouldn't have been a great biography, Sergeant Major. You would have gotten like 3 lines. It would have been like, I am what I am, and that's all that I am. And you would have been like, I hate this kid. And then you would have met me, and you're like, that's actually pretty accurate. No,
And then you would have loved me for my dedication to being accurate. Like, I mean...
So, yeah, I get there. I have the packing list, but, like, some of the things on the packing list I didn't have because it was given to me so late. So we're doing the layout, and my sergeant major's, like, walking up and down, going, like, oh, do you have this? And I was like, that's a negative. And he goes, you don't have a lot of things, do you? And I was like, no, but I've got spirit. And at this point, everyone is laughing at me again. Like, all of the people that are competing, I hadn't met them before. They don't know who I am. They're just laughing at me. Not with me, by the way. They're just like, oh, this guy. And then I started, like, asking, like, fun friend questions. I'm like, anybody have any extra locks? Help a brother out. And they're just, like, ignoring me. They're, like, moving their duffel bags, like, away from my bed. And I was just like, oh, man, you guys are not going to have fun until you turn around on your opinion of me. Because this is going to be me the whole time, guys. I don't take this seriously. And then I met one of the guys that was at the last one. It was Sergeant Lanowski. He was there in support of another soldier for last year and came back to support another soldier this year. he had submitted another one, and he was there.
Quick question. Did you actually have a sergeant this time to go support you?
Okay, nobody came. So even less people came to this one than last time.
How did it get worse? That's like,
and I think so. My unit was actually at this same place that same time. So I think what they eventually did was they went and got one of the sergeants from my unit that wasn't my sergeant, wasn't even at like my like branch of the unit, but they got him because he was like the highest ranking one there. And they had him for like a second one, like a couple minutes. They're like, yeah, you're going to help Brainard. And he's like, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, I know Brainard. He's cool. Yeah. And then like 5 minutes later, they're like, we actually need you to help run events. So you won't be able to help Brainard at all. And he was like, oh, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, like really messed up.
And he told me, he's like, yeah, man, I don't know. I was like, sorry, like, it's fine. Like, I don't care. Do you think I'm not taking this seriously, and neither should you?
None of us should be doing this right now.
Yeah, this is silly. It's fun. We're having fun. And so I met the other guy, Sergeant Lanowski, who was there with another soldier. He saw me, remembered me, and he's like, oh, Brainard's here. You gonna run away with this one again? And at this point, everyone else in the barracks, like, looks over, like, what did he say? And I was like, God, I hope not, Sergeant. Like, I'm not trying to win anything.
That's just the most genuine answer.
Yeah, and he goes, yeah, that's what you said last year, isn't it? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, how'd that work out for you? I was like, not
I like
well.
imagining Ben as like a cute little boy being like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
So, like, the thing is, I do stuff like that. I legitimately act like that, especially around, like, the toxically masculine members of the military, just to make them feel uncomfortable. Like, I do stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, stop it. I'm blushing. And
I might win. Who knows?
They laugh at me. They think nothing. And then I beat them in everything. And then I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm just better at this stuff. And they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't judge people?
Yeah.
So Sergeant Lanowski and I became friends because I didn't know anybody else there. He already knew me, and he was just like, I mean, I have to spend time with Specialist Overmenko, which was a female soldier that he had submitted. By the way, that's not offensive when the military says it. This is just what we say, male, female. Okay, we also knife hand people. It's fine. Specialist Overmenko was there, and he was just like, I'm gonna have to spend time with her, but like if I ever, can go with you through events and stuff, do you want me to? I was like, if you want to, sorry, like, yeah, we'll have some fun.
We'll kick it. It'll be cool.
Yeah, and so we did the layout was the first thing that we did, and then I think I got this order correct. Then we did the PT test really early in the morning, again, and Sergeant Lanowski was just kind of like, if you guys can keep up with Brainard, you're gonna pass. Just keep that in mind. And I was like, you don't need to tell people that I'm here. Stop announcing me. Like, I don't want them to know who I am. And everyone laughed because I'm still just the laughingstock. And sure enough, came in first in the PT test, finished the run. I think at that point, we ran it so early, there was no lights on the track, and everybody there hadn't been, like, a runner like I was all throughout high school. They didn't know, like, pacing and all that. Nobody even, like, passed the run.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Because it was an outdoor course that was, like, curved. It wasn't, like, a track, and there were no lights. You couldn't see anything. There was barely anything you could legitimately, like, pace yourself off of. And I was just like, yeah, I know how to count in my head. So I ran it. I came in. I finished it in like 12:40 or something, which was like slower than my usual, but it was still like a perfect score on the run. And then I just kind of sat there waiting and talking to Sergeant Lanowski as other people were still like doing laps, and they were really mad at me after that. It wasn't so much I wasn't so much the laughing stock as I was the person that people like feared at that point. They were just like, oh, so this is a joke to him and he's good. This is terrifying.
Yeah.
This is terrifying. Then with the confidence course, same thing happened as last year's. I went on a slow jog. I climbed things. I fell off them. Sergeant Lanowski ran it with me because he was like, this just looks really funny. I have to be right here. And we just did some like banter back and forth. The only one that I had a problem with, they added it to it. there was logs that you had to, like sawhorses basically, that you had to get over without using your hands. So you had to put your hands up behind your head like this and then get over the logs, which most people have no problem with. But because I am 5'5", I cannot step over the logs. The logs are above my waist. So I get there and like everybody else is just kind of like, you know, straddling and like long legsing it over. So what I did was I got there, hands behind my head, turned around, put my butt up against the log, jumped, sat on it, and then spun myself over the log, and then did it on the next one all the way over. And he goes, "That's a really funny way of doing that." And I was like, "Do you want to get over here and do it too?" And he's like, "Not at all." And I was like, "That's right. You can stay over there and be quiet, Sarn." Confidence scores. Yeah, so I won the PT test. I don't know if I won the confidence course, but I at least came in the top 3 on that. Then land nav. They did land nav differently this one. You had to walk with someone, with like someone they got. So like an actual like a supervisor basically, but it couldn't be the guy that came with you. So again, I had to switch to a new guy, a new sergeant that was walking around helping. And this man just had to follow me around in the woods for 3 hours to find 5 points with just a compass and a map and a pen.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Hey, man, I know you're not allowed to talk to me, but like, if you don't, this is going to get really annoying for you. Because I'm not going to shut up. Like, we're going to have fun." And he was just like, "Ugh, all right. Okay. I just can't help you." And I was like, I don't need it.
Right, I don't need your help. Yeah.
Land nav is easy, and I don't care. We're just gonna. We're having fun, man. Just let me know which path you want to take. You want to take the roads? You want to go through the woods? Like, what seems more fun for you? And so we get the land nav. I get my points, and I sit there for like 20 minutes after he said go, just plotting my course and like doing all the math and stuff. And I was like, okay, it looks like a perfect loop. We have to go this way, that way. Got it. Yeah, we're good, man. And he's like, "Everyone else left already." And I was like, "Yeah? Okay. Do you think we're not going to win this?" And he's like, "No, I'm just letting you know. Like, you are leaving the starting line last right now." And I was like, "Okay. Do you want to wait longer? We have 2.5 more hours to complete this." And he's like, "No, we should just go." And so we went, and I found 4 points. There was a 5th point that I was supposed to find that did not exist. And I told him that. I was like, "Hey, I'm just letting you know, this point doesn't exist." And he's like, "Yeah, okay. Are you sure?" And I was like, "Absolutely 100% positive. You see how easy we found the other 4 points? We just kind of walked in a straight line because I mapped it out, and no one else is done yet, and we're done, and I'm right here. This is exactly where it should be." And he's like, "All right." And I was like, "I will give you the stuff, and I will let you do the math in your head, because you can't do it out loud, and then you can tell me whether or not we are standing in the exact point that we are supposed to be." And he goes, "Well, I don't really, I can't really, we're not, And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We've been looking for an hour. We found 4 out of the 5. We have an hour and a half left. We're just going to go back and relax. Because I bet other people haven't found all the points anyway, so it doesn't matter." Went back, sat down, had 4 points. People came back at the 3-hour mark. Some people came back well past the 3-hour mark. And I told the Sergeant Major, I was like, "Hey, Sergeant Major, this point doesn't exist. Don't know what happened. It's not there." And he goes, "Yeah, okay." Later that night, he sent 3 sergeants out. The point does not exist. And on top of that, I was the only soldier who said the point didn't exist, instead of just finding a different point that was kind of nearby and writing that down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because that was the other way out, was just like looking around until you saw something shiny and you're like, "That one has to be it." And I was like, "No, that's not right. Like, we're in the spot. It doesn't exist." Yeah, and they said that at the end, at like the next day. They were just like, "Hey, yeah, several of you had this point. We don't know what happened. It was either stolen, knocked down, something. It wasn't there. So if you had that, and you didn't say that, and you found that spot, and you didn't like mark anything down, you got that right. And I was like, me got that right. That's what you're saying. Yeah. But they said it without saying my name. They were just like, some information has come to us.
Individual who doesn't exist.
Yeah, they were just like, some information has been disseminated down to us that maybe a couple of our points weren't in the spot that they were supposed to be. Yeah. And I was like, that was me. I did that. That was me.
You stand up. You're like, thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Yeah.
The person who might have figured it out might be about 5'5". You all hate him.
Yeah.
His name's Brainard.
They started coming around to me at this point because I was just making jokes and I wasn't like being pretentious or anything. I was just joking about everything. And they were just like, this is like a nice little relaxing thing, This is kind of fun. He's not taking this seriously. He's not competition. Most of the time, they couldn't see me do the competitions, so it's not like they knew that I was doing
because
well.
we were so far ahead of them.
No, it's like because Lane now.
He's so lazy. I walked across the finish line, and he was relaxing with his friend.
He looked like he didn't even run it. I think he quit. I don't even know why he's here.
They just assumed you gave up. They were like, "Oh, he's not a threat, guys. Come on."
Oh, man. So we did the rifle range, again, M16s on paper targets, just the 25-meter thing. It was another event. You couldn't see how well other people were doing. Shot expert again, which is anywhere between like 36 and 40 of your hits. You got them. And the thing about the rifle range that time is that you were allowed to bring your rifle from your unit that was like your designated rifle because you've zeroed on it and it's set up for you. But I did not have my rifle from my unit because my unit did not prepare me to go to this. So they're like, the best we can do is give you someone else's rifle, but that it's zeroed to them, not you. And I was like, does it shoot? I'll do it.
Yeah.
And so they gave me, I think, like 9 rounds to zero it for me. But I was like, I'm not going to change how this guy has his sights because that just ruined his rifle. So I took my 9 and I was like, yeah, I know where to aim. We're good. And then I shot expert, which is somewhere between 36 and 40. And,
which is somewhere between almost perfect and perfect.
Yeah. And then we moved on to like weapons knowledge. And this one was fun for me because it was way more in-depth than last time. And it was several rooms with several different weapons in them. And you would go and you'd spend 3 minutes and you had to take the weapon apart, put the weapon back together, and the whole time you're answering questions about the weapon that the guy is asking you. And yeah, so it was like the M16, it was the M4, it was the 249, the 240, and the 50 cal. And
so it's like doing a puzzle for regular people, but
sort of.
Yeah, it's
but
a gun
like,
puzzle.
A lot of the times the pieces don't look like they're supposed to go together.
No.
Especially on the 50 cal, dude. You're just like, I do not know. These are extra, right? These are extra pieces. And so I go in there, and it was just because, like, during basic, I wanted to look busy that I got like a Forrest Gump level of taking apart weapons and putting them back, like to the point where I could just like not look, do it, and be like, all right, we're done.
you're like,
yeah. But I spent zero time learning about the rifles. So each room I would go in and I would just look the guy in the eyes while taking apart the weapon, going, okay, I'm done. And he'd look and be like, yeah. And then I'd start putting it back together without looking while answering his questions, but just like the most confident, no knowledge you've ever seen in your life. He'd be like, what is the maximum point effective distance of the M16A2 rifle? And I'd be like, 800? Maybe. I don't know. Just like putting stuff together. And it was like the M16, I knew everything on it because that was my weapon. But like once we got to the 249, the 50 cal, he would ask those questions and I'd be like, I don't know. And he's like, that's not right. And I was like, obviously that's not right. Can you give me like, bro, give me a range. What's it start with? And he's like, I can't help you. And I was like, well, then I can't help you, buddy. You're going to fail this test. And at that point, like, everybody just knew I was there to mess around, so they were just kind of giving it back to me and stuff like that. And I was like, this is fun. I'm having fun now. They added the grenade range to this one, which grenades are always fun. It was a grenade sim round, so it just kind of, and then you had to go pick up the pieces. But they have the same weight and stuff. Grenades are harder to throw than you'd think. Because first of all, they will hurt you if you're anywhere within 35 meters. The shrapnel will damage you if you're within 35 meters of a grenade when it goes off. And I don't know if you've ever tried to throw anything 35 meters. It's harder than you'd think, man. That's what, 100 feet.
Yeah, it's more than that.
It's a little bit, it's more than 100 feet.
Yeah, it's like 105, 100, but with meters, I guess it's even more than that. Technically, probably like 107 or something like that. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Throw anything the length of a 10-story building and be like, yeah, it's grenade.
Yeah. You're supposed to lob them, too. You're not supposed to just baseball huck them.
Okay, so if you're standing, this is the pose you get into when you're standing. And it's like you have your left hand out, like pointing in the direction that you're gonna throw it. And I'm putting my finger in there so you know exactly what I'm doing.
You just Babe Ruth in it. Carry on.
Yeah, you call your shot. You call your shot, and then you hold it like you're holding a football, sort of. And then you go straight from this position to this position, just a straight forward, like catapult kind of style, or slingshot, really. And then you take half a second to make sure it's going in that area. You yell grenade out, and then you drop and don't look. And you cannot get enough power doing that. So people are just like hucking it however they want. But there's different ways. So we did 3 grenades standing, 3 grenades from a knee, and then 3 grenades laying down. And there's a different method for each one. From a knee, you kind of like lean behind the thing. You look over, you get back down, you get back up. Same thing though. Kind of like point Babe Ruth it, and then twist with the hips, and then go back down behind cover. And you have to get it within like a 35-meter circle, and then like a closer one for even more points. And then the laying down, you lay on your back actually with the barrier to your left, and you like pick yourself up enough to look over the barrier, and then you get back down, and without looking over the barrier, you take your hand and you catapult fling it in the direction you think is the correct direction.
What?
Yeah.
What is...
You don't get to look when you're laying down throwing a grenade because you'll die.
This is like gay people. I was gonna make a joke, but I'll keep that one to myself.
I just heard. Oh my god!
Maybe that's more of a catapult action. Like the flick of the wrist adds more like. I don't know.
Look at her wrist.
If our infantry laid down the most, it would be the gay soldiers that were just crushing it.
Oh, absolutely. What do you mean this will explode? But the grenade range was actually fun. I enjoyed that one. I don't know where I came in because at this point they stopped telling people what the scores were. They stopped sharing who was in the lead. The only one they really said was like this person has this score was like the PT test because it was like obviously Brainard finished first. But like that was he lapped all of you. Like stop whining. Like but they didn't tell us the times on the confidence course, the scores on the land nav, nothing. Not the weapons knowledge, the grenade range, the rifle range, any of that. Then we did the multiple choice and the written test just like last time. And then we did the board. And this board was way more fun for me than the last one because they were taking it way more seriously.
Oh no, for them.
Yeah.
Love that. We love it.
So at this point in the board, you're allowed to go in there with the sergeant that came with you to sit behind you just to make sure, like, give you a little confidence boost, whatever you need. And Sergeant Lenowski
did not need.
I didn't have it. Yeah. Sergeant Lenowski like asked me, he's like, "Hey, look, I know you don't need anyone in there, but do you want me to come in with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds like fun. Come on in."
You're like another audience member. Yay!
Yeah. And so what he actually did was like he went in there first to make sure that they were ready for me, and stuff like that. And he's like, "Okay, you're good to go. Here's this stuff and that stuff." And then I went in there. Specialist Brainard reporting to the board as directed, and I had my dress blues at this point.
Nice.
Sort of. Because I did not know that I would need them or when I would need them, I didn't get them cleaned, nor did I fix any of like the patches or badges on them. And so I get there and he looks down and he goes, "Where's the pack?" "Oh, yeah, you don't have a packet." And then he looks at and this time there were other sergeant majors, like the sergeant's major is what is the proper plural for it, but
Interesting.
it was like 5 sergeants major and command sergeants major. So like the last time it was just kind of like whatever high ranking people were there. This time it was like legit, like these people could ruin my career right now. And my day if they wanted to. And I walk in there. Yeah, and they're all kind of like hard noses, and they're like, my sergeant major's like, yeah, he doesn't have a packet. His unit kind of dropped the ball on that one. And the other one was like, is that why he looks scruffy? And I was like, negative, Sergeant Major, I always look this scruffy. And I could just hear Sergeant Lanowski behind me going, ugh. And like my Sergeant Major was just like, okay. And then they all had like a packet. I guess I scrounged together some information about me. So they're all looking down. They're not looking up. They have like their own paperwork that they're looking down on writing. And the first question they ask is, what is your goal in the military? And I said, my goal in the military is to get out.
Oh my God.
Like, no exaggeration whatsoever. That's verbatim what I said out loud, confidently.
To a board of sergeants major.
To a board of sergeants major.
That have made the military their career and their life. And
they are literally sitting in the middle of nowhere, judging a whole bunch of random other kids that are trying to also make the same career happen for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And so...
I love this so much.
I don't know what order I went in this board, but they absolutely were not expecting an oddball by any means. Especially not an oddball that was just like winning everything, because they had like the scores in front of them. And I was like, my goal in the military is to get out, and all 5 of them snapped their heads up, eyes got wide, looked direct me in the face, and Sergeant Lanowski was behind me going, oh God. And I was like, oh, good, I have your attention. Yeah, very obviously by the scores in front of you, I'm doing well. My goal clearly is to be the best soldier that I can be, and I'm being the best soldier that I can be. I'm not sure if Sergeant Major or whoever told the rest of you this, but I did not know that I was even supposed to be here until 9 p.m. the night before that I was supposed to be here. I don't have a packet. I didn't bring my own rifle. I don't even have all of the stuff on the packing list. And yet, look at the scores.
You know what this is? This is one of those weird, like, inspirational Disney movie scenes. I didn't know before 9 p.m. the night before.
I was like, hello, my name is the Mighty Ducks.
They change their opinions. They're like, yeah.
And at this point, they're just like looking over at my sergeant major, like, is this like serious? And he's like, yeah, like his unit like didn't get him like any help whatsoever. He won last year, and then they were like, oh. And I was like, yeah, whatever you ask me to do, I'm going to do it. Not only I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it better than anyone else you could ask to do it. But my end-all be-all goal is to get out. And I think that should be yours too. You don't want to die here. We're in Camp Blanding, Florida.
Ben just put his balls on the table is what just happened there. Like
he put his dick out and said, get out of the army.
Right. But it was just like, look where we're in Camp Blanding, Florida. I'm sharing a shower with 5 dudes for 3 nights right now. This isn't how I want to die.
That sounds great. Wow.
I just walked in. I was like, hello, gentlemen.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Oh,
and then they just started asking me questions that I didn't know the answer to, just like technical stuff. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. And Sergeant Lanowski was like whispering things behind me, like you're supposed to tell them that you're gonna find the answer. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna.
I said I want to get out.
Yeah, and, like I didn't know the answer. And I was just like, that's not important. I don't know that one. Sorry. Yeah. And then started asking me like questions about like things that I've actually done, because I was like wearing my Army Achievement Medal, and like I had my expert badge on, and they're just like, oh, what is that? And I was like, this is the Army Achievement Medal I got for winning the Distinguished Honor Grad at AIT. And they're like, tell me more about that. And I was like, I won every single competition and got a perfect score on every written test for 6 straight weeks. And they were like, no further questions.
You are the only person I know who's trying to get fired from a job by doing everything very well.
Super well, right? And, like, they're just like, why are you here? And I was like, they're paying me. This sounds more fun than doing nothing. So the board was done. The last thing that we did was the Ruck March, and they changed this one up too. So they made it longer, and they gave us a time frame. They made it longer, and they said 3 hours. Or no, they took away the time frame. That's what it was. Last one was a shorter distance, but with a 3-hour time frame. This one was a longer distance, no time. They were just like, go, you know? It's the last event. The goal was they were just gonna like, you finish the Ruck March and then you just ruck down to the lake and you do like the award ceremony with dinner and burgers and hot dogs and stuff.
Ah, burgers.
At this point,
that's the part of the story, right? Like,
look, I love sandwiches.
Yeah,
okay, I could get behind this. Like, that would increase my time. I'll tell you that. Like that,
right? Like me just thinking about eating dinner. I was like, yeah, that sounds great, dude. But they told us, you know, you have to, your pack has to be this amount of weight, and I was just like, can food be that weight? And so I just started packing snacks and like waters and Gatorades in my ruck. And because I had a bunch of like granola and like trail mix that I bought at the PX that day, and I was just like, yeah, dude, I'm ready for anything. Let's do this. Let's get lost in the woods right now. And like right before the Ruck March, I jokingly said to Sergeant Lanowski, I was like, okay, level with me here, Doc. How slow do I have to do this to not have to move on to the next round? And he goes, are you messing with me right now? I was like, sorry, I'm always messing with you. But, like, honestly, though, tell me. Like, you know the scores. Where am I at? Like, how slow? Tell me a time. I'll do it. I'll come in right at that moment. And he goes, Brainard, you're so far ahead that the only way you couldn't win this competition is if you just actively chose not to finish the competition.
Oh, my God!
And the look of disappointment that washed over my face. I was just like, really? And he's like, listen, if the person in second place right now came in first and beat you by like 5 hours, you would still win. Handily.
Wow.
And I was like,
your option is either win or die. That's your option. Like,
I was like, well, you know, that means I'm not going to try now, right? And he goes, you weren't before. I was like, fair point. And then we started the ruck, and this guy, one of the soldiers that we were competing with, he comes up to me and he goes, you haven't been trying this whole time, have you? And I was like, come on, I'm doing it, aren't I?
I have trail mix in my bag.
I was literally like pulling trail mix out of my bag, like as he was asking
I don't know
this.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, give me the M&Ms. You want some? He's just like, man, like everyone's running this ruck right now, and you're walking it. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to be tired. This is the last thing that we're doing. If I win, I win. Like, you know, I'm not gonna be. I don't want to kill myself here. Come on. And he's like, bro. And then just like took off at a jog, and then like another one of them that was just walking with me. He's like, I don't want to know how unfair this competition would have been if you were taking this seriously.
oh my God.
And I looked at him and I was like, you can ask Sergeant Lanowski how unfair this competition already was. And he's like, you already know. I was like, yeah, man, like I've been trying to come in second. It hasn't worked. I'm just gonna walk this because it doesn't matter. None of this matters. Any of it. And he goes, can I walk it with you? And I was like, absolutely. And so 4 people joined me. It was me and 3 other people just slowly walked 5 miles together through the woods, and just like they had like a
Stand By Me. It became the movie.
Yeah, man, and we all were just helping each other through it. Like at one point, the one girl, Specialist Overmenko, was with us, and she was just like, "Oh, guys, like." I don't know if I can finish this ruck. And I was like, give me your sack. And she took her rucksack off and I put it on my front and we walked like that for a little bit just to give her a break. And then I gave it back to her. And everyone was like, what? Who are you? What are you? Why? And I was like, bro, we're just having fun. Like, this isn't, I don't want you guys to get hurt doing a thing that literally doesn't matter. And so we spent the rest of the time playing games, telling jokes. I was feeding everybody. I was like, you guys want snacks? What's up? Here's some drinks. At one point, one of the sergeants major came back with like an E7 and in like a Humvee, saw us on the way, turned the Humvee around, came back, and was like, what are you doing? And we're like, competing in the Best Warrior competition. And he's like, competing? And I was like, well, we're in it. And he goes, do you know what this looks like right now? And I was like, Brothers in Arms. And he goes, it looks like you're not taking it seriously. And I was like, oh, good. I thought it just felt like it. And Sergeant like Lanowski came by on a Humvee, and he like, Sergeant Major, like, he's already won. It's over. And the Sergeant Major's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, this is the guy. Yeah, right? Yeah, we're all upset about it. And so we finished, all 4 of us walked it in last place, laughing. Wow. Nobody was at the finish line waiting for us. They all left. They all went to the thing to eat hamburgers and hot dogs. And and I was just like, yeah. And then we got there. We took showers. We changed into civilian clothes, and we went to the thing. And we were the only 4 people in civilians. And everyone else still had like their rucksack on. And I get there, and they're like, what happened? And I was like, oh, we finished the ruck, and there was nobody there, so we took showers and changed, and then someone was like, oh, they're doing burgers and hot dogs at the thing, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll go to that, so here we are. And then I walk up, and the Sergeant Major's like, oh, now that he's here, we can start.
No.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. Burgers on me, everyone. And we had burgers and laughed, and everyone was just like, I hate that he won, but God, is he likable. And that was just how I won the second Best Warrior competition. And that same Sergeant Major ran the 3rd one, and he begged me 4 times to compete in that one, but I said no every time.
Wow.
Did you go to the 2nd level of that one, by the way?
No, I did not, because, so here's the thing, my Sergeant Major was just like, obviously there's something broken in the line of communication between me and your unit. And I was like, yeah, we've known that for a long time. And he's like, okay, here's my personal cell phone number. Here's my personal email address. Contact me through these things. I will directly contact you when I have information about the 2nd level, which is not a thing that he was running, so he didn't know about it. And I was like, cool, great, that sounds awesome. I'm just letting you know right now, Sergeant Major, I am a touring comedian. Sometimes I'm out of town. And he goes, that makes sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense. So he texted me a lot between now and then. I started taking like MMA classes because they were doing like a combatives tournament in the next round. So I got good at that stuff. And then like he called me one day. He's like, listen, there's obviously a break in communication between me and whoever's running this competition because they want it to happen in 3 days. And I was like, that's a big negative, Sergeant Major. And he's like, yeah, I figured most human adults can't make this happen in 3 days. And they wanted me to travel to like a different state. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to let them know that they're messing up. And I was like, you get him, Sergeant Major. Go get him, Tiger. And so, yeah, I was like, I'm out of town. I can't make it. Obviously, 3 days is not enough time to get that all set up. And it was like a month-long competition. I was like, negative. And he's like, yeah, no, didn't think so. All right. Keep up the good work, and hung up. So I didn't go to the 2nd round. And I don't know if anybody from my brigade went to the 2nd round because it was just a
Cluster?
Yeah, Shih Tzu is what we call it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ben, I love that so much. That makes my heart very happy.
It's insane.
But that is
it's
that is
absolutely
story
insane.
That is
Yay! Story time.
Ben wins again on
Ben
accident.
wins again. Unintentionally. Really trying not to.
Whoops.
I will make the comparison to Dash from The Incredibles every time it happens. Because I can't stop myself. It just is. Finish second. I'm trying, but it's hard. They suck.
I can't do it, man. Tell them to finish it first.
Right? Oh my gosh. We got a silly question.
Yay! Submitted by an audience member.
Yeah, so we got it from Taya P. Hey guys, I absolutely love your podcast. Thank you, Taya. It's my new favorite thing to listen to every week. That's what we like to hear. And saw this question on TikTok just now and wanted to hear you guys debate it. Which cereal mascot do you think could secretly be a serial killer? Oh, that's so good. Thank you so much for the laughs each week. Taya, pronounced Taya. Yeah. I got you, girl.
I am going to look up.
That's what I'm looking up right now.
Just a small list. Okay.
Cereal mascots?
So, yeah, I mean, your first thought is always like Tony the Tiger, but I see the part that's throwing me off is that it says it's a secret serial killer, and Tony wouldn't be secret about it. Like, you'd look at it and be like, yeah, he's a murderer.
I think the Cocoa Puffs bird would be the most serial killer. Like, it's crazy. It looks...
He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
No, like,
he's probably
crazy,
also cuckoo to wear your face.
That or Count Chocula for me. Those two are the only ones that I can think of as like actual murderers.
No, Count Chocula couldn't.
He's got too much of a freaky smile, and he's a vampire.
Okay,
so
yeah, but no, he's a vampire, Dan. Like, he's already in the business of murder and control. Like, he's not secret about it.
I don't think he's getting away with it. I don't think he's BTK in it, getting away with it for 30 years. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think.
I changed my mind. Raisin Bran, the son with the 2 scoops. That's the most serial killer thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Why?
Anyone who's putting raisins into a cereal is...
the K from Special K.
Actually, think about it. The sun kills a lot of people with like skin cancer, so maybe that really darkly is.
Okay, yeah.
The Kellogg cereal mascots for Honey Smacks is just named Dig'em.
Yeah, I was looking at Honey Smacks. He looks like he could murder people and not tell anyone about it. I'm going to have to go with the apple from Apple Jacks.
Why the apple from Apple Jacks? I love it, but yes.
First of all, look at him. He's got murder in his eyes. Second of all, that just look up the Google image search the apple from Apple Jacks and tell me that man doesn't want to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fruit full of fear in his eye. Like,
he also talks like he's got like the side mouth thing going on.
A terrifying image that is just every day pushed to the edge of sanity by a cinnamon stick that does not care about him.
A super chill, lovable Jamaican cinnamon stick that he'll never live up to? Yeah, I could get that.
Yeah. Absolutely a secret serial killer.
Dude,
Absolutely.
the animation for this guy looks freaking wild. Like,
I'm telling you, that's the last face you see before death befalls you.
You know, I want to say though, I think that when he gets caught, because don't get me wrong, I do think he could escape with it for a while, but I think when he gets caught, everyone goes, "Oh yeah, we saw it coming." Like, we definitely did understand.
Yeah, right?
Did you see his eyes? For me, it's gonna have to be. I think it's a trio. I think it's a partnership killing. I think Snack, Crackle, and Pop. I'm almost for sure the Rice Krispie guys are in it together. Because they're all each other's alibi. Like, that's what I'm thinking is how
the rice finishes, like, once the rice gets soggy, they're like, what else can we snap, crackle, and pop?
Yeah.
What do you think is snapping, crackling, and popping in the cereal?
It's your C5.
Absolutely the apple, though.
Oh, the apple's definitely a killer, like, no question.
For sure.
Yeah. Wow.
I love that as a question.
I'd say the Trix Rabbit is number 2.
Yeah. Just because he's like willing to do anything.
Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids, and the rabbit's like, but guns aren't.
He's Bugs Bunnying it.
Yeah, that's all I got. Dan, you have to leave for an actual business thing soon. So do you want to do your LGBTQ for the straights real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
LGBTQ for the straights. My LGBTQ for the straights this week, just because they have not done it, is first of all, who is your favorite drag queen? If you know any.
I don't know any.
You don't know any.
RuPaul.
I mean, yeah, I know RuPaul, but I've heard like so many negative things about RuPaul that I feel wrong. I don't know, probably my buddy Nathan. I mean, Nathan's just a cool dude who also does drag, so I'm like, I don't know. I think it's Nathan. Yeah.
I know several, but like.
Okay. Well, my second question for you guys for this particular week is, would you do a drag show with me at some point?
1,000%.
Ben?
Yes, of course.
As long as, here's the thing, as long as I get help.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You're not gonna.
I'm fine to do that. I'm fine to do that. My final one is, maybe I've asked this before, this sounds familiar, but what is your drag name? And what will be your drag name for the drag show?
Okay.
I'm waiting.
My first thought was like Disney Magician. Like,
I love it.
Disney Magic. Like, I don't know. Because the only time I've been in like drag was as Elsa, because we lost a bet. Me and my roommate did, and so he dressed up as Anna and I dressed up as Elsa.
I think I remember that.
It was so much fun. It was so funny. Oh, for sure.
I'd really have to think about it because I want it to be perfect. But like first thought.
Should we make that the follow up next week?
First thought that I have is the alligator queen.
Oh,
I love that too much.
So,
I love that too much.
Maybe that'll be it. Who knows?
Mostly because you're going to be in an alligator jacket, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
like a little alligator
look. Oh my gosh,
alligator
I'm
skin.
Loving that. I'm just waiting to see how high your brows go, Ben. I want to see.
They already get pretty high.
We'll just tape them up so that they're just like, hello. But that's my LGBTQ for the straights this week.
Yay!
Thank you, Dan, for being.
Bye, Dan. Have fun being businessy.
Bye, guys.
Enjoy that business. All right. Well, you know what it's time for, Ben, and you love history. Just like I do. It's Ryan's Ridiculous History! So this was suggested to us by Alex Heldman, who wrote in and told us just to search Christopher Lee. And I've actually already done a video on Christopher Lee, and it actually hit over 1 million because Christopher Lee is a wonderful human being who's just amazing in everything.
Tell me more.
Tell me more.
Was it love at first sight? Okay.
So freaking Christopher Lee was born in 1922 and is going to serve in World War II. Now, here's the thing. He served in World War II. Yeah. I think that if I'm correct, he volunteered at I think he was 17 when he actually popped into the military. The dude was just like, as soon as I could, it was either 17 or 18, he pops in. That's 1940. Bad time to be 18, 1940.
Right. Bad time to be 18 constantly. But yeah, 1940, worse time to be an 18-year-old man.
Yeah, it's not going to go great. You're going to have to fight Nazis. And so he did. But here's the thing. He apparently he joined the RAF, but then they were like, you're great at everything. And then he joined the Special Operations Executive, which is just the precursor to MI6 and the CIA. He was just so good at what he did that Ian Fleming was like, hey, I'm basing a character off you. That character became James Bond. Like, that is
the real James Bond.
He was the real James Bond. Not only that, like he apparently like had sordid affairs with like double agents and things like that from like Germany and all this stuff. Like he constantly like would sneak around and just do crazy things.
That's so fun.
He was part of the Allied invasion of Italy. You can actually see him in the Vatican City, just looking like a total homie, like just chilling out.
He's 22 at this point, and he looks like more of a man
he's in
than I'll
Italy
ever
for
be.
the first time, and he's just like, when in Italy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, let's see. For a while, gosh, this is crazy. So for a while, he was attached from the SOE to a group called the Long Range Desert Group, which is the precursor to the SAS. They were like, you're so good at all this, go help them. And then they just did just amazing missions together, like an actual super soldier.
Do you think do you think he's my dad?
I hope so. And honestly, I'm not shocked if he was. This, by the way, this is his quote because he never went into details about it. He goes, "I was attached to the SAS from time to time, but we are forbidden, former, present, or future, to discuss any specific operations. Let's just say I was in Special Forces and leave it at that. People can read into that what they like." Okay. By the way, this is the same guy
I'm going to read very deeply into that, Christopher. Thank you.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna just casually walk through that. He witnessed the last public execution by guillotine, which I'm pretty sure was in France in 1972. Believe it or not,
it's a very French thing.
Yeah, they were like, well, we patented it. It kind of works out.
It's pronounced guillotine. It's actually, if it's not from the guillotine region of France, it's just a sparkling chopper.
It's a big stabby boy.
It is a sparkling slicer.
Well, get this. So he apparently, like, during when they were filming The Hobbit, it was Lord of the Rings. He was the only person to have ever met Tolkien, which is crazy. He met Tolkien before he passed. Also, Tolkien's line, "You shall not pass," comes from World War I when the French were like getting pushed back, and they said, "You will not let them take another inch," and they didn't, and that was their battle cry, which actually makes the French pretty hardcore in World War I. Like, that's pretty tough.
We talk about the French running away from every major conflict, and it's funny, but then when they do stuff, it's always like they do stuff in the most dramatic way possible.
Napoleon, here's the thing: they've only not been doing things since the 40s. You know what I mean? Like, it's not their fault. They just got tired of winning everything. It's almost like they're all bad. They're just all bad.
Hello, bonjour. Je m'appelle Benjamin. We are tiny, but we are mighty.
Do not mess with me.
I can light a cigarette for you by winking. Smolder, smolder.
Smolder. Whoever's directing, I don't remember who directed Lord of the Rings off the top of my head. I don't know if you know, but
I don't know either.
That person was like, "Here, make this noise when he's supposed to get stabbed in the back." And Christopher Lee turned on him and goes, "Do you know what it actually sounds like to stab someone in the back?" "I do." And then he just made that noise. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, you're so hardcore. He was he almost married into Swedish royalty, but
the Swedes were like, "We're too peaceful."
Oh God! Well, funny thing, her dad was like, "No, you can't." But that was the king's brother, so he just went to the king. No, the king was his uncle, and he goes to the king and is like, "I would like permission to marry," and the king said yes.
Absolutely,
the freaking king of Sweden overruled, which is crazy. Yeah, he
imagine having that sibling rivalry.
Oh my gosh, you said that someone else could marry my daughter that I didn't say yes to.
Yeah, and I'm also the king, so.
Yeah.
Do you have any more questions, Jester?
Yeah, deuces as I run the world. Who runs the world? Me. Like, that's anyway,
the Swedes.
He was in a metal band towards the end of his life, like a heavy metal band.
What hasn't he done?
Dude, there's seriously nothing he hasn't done. I mean, obviously he was Dracula. He was Count Dooku in Star Wars. Sorry, Lord of the Wars.
Lord of the Stars.
Lord of the Stars. It's just amazing that, like, that's a thing that he did. By the way, Lee's maternal ancestors were given the right to bear the coat of arms of the Holy Roman Empire by Emperor Frederick Barbarossa in like 1155. Like, I mean, like, this dude.
This is fun. I love this.
It's like he couldn't not do things. He was also 6'5", which is crazy. So he was just this.
So yeah, not my dad.
No, or it could be. You just might have very heavy maternal stuff. It's crazy. Essentially, the dude was a legend. He passed away in 2015, just after being
a legend.
Yeah, right. Just after being way cooler than I'll ever be in my entire life, and good for him.
If he had done improv, we wouldn't make fun of it anymore.
No, that's actually 100% true.
If Christopher Lee came on this podcast and was like, I actually got my 10,000 hours of improv, we'd all be like, oh, Ryan, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Christopher Lee will come back from the grave just to whip.
Did you die? Yes, and I'm back.
And I'm back again. Yeah, he died at 93 years old. He was
full life.
And he probably just told death, like, it's fine now. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, we could do that. But anyway,
death, yeah, he came to death, and he's like, are you ready?
Are you ready to take me? Good luck. Anyway, that's it for Ryan's ridiculous history. It's time to move on to Ben's breaking news.
I have 7 headlines from this past week that I am going to now make fun of. Let's jump in.
Delightful.
Man on bail for murder arrested after pet tiger escapes Houston home. In the words of James A. Lovell, Houston, we have a problem.
Wait, hold on. Was it his pet tiger?
Yep.
I'm like, okay, that's an important. That was just like, did he find a pet? Like, wow.
Yeah. So he was on bail for murder, and he had a pet tiger that it got out, and he got arrested again for having a pet tiger. And they were like, well, we still have to find the tiger too. Like, that's a thing that we have to do. I didn't find his name, but yeah, I saw that and I was like, I have to put this in there.
That's incredible. I need a Lifetime original about him. I feel like
the headline is wild. Man on bail for murder arrested after pet tiger escapes Houston home. The headline starts out wild and then just keeps going. The biggest surprise for me, honestly, is that it happened in Houston, Texas, and not like Tampa, Florida.
That's, to be real, that was also one of my first thoughts. Is I was like, I don't think they got the place right.
That's where what's her face lives now, Tiger Queen.
Oh, Carol Baskin?
Yeah, she lives in Tampa, Florida.
Wow, that doesn't shock me. I do wonder if she killed her husband and got away with it.
Absolutely, she did.
Yeah, it feels like it.
My question is, how bad of a murderer do you have to be for a Bengal tiger to be like, I gotta get out of here, man?
Man, I just can't take this anymore. Like, also, it makes me think: how did he commit the murder? Was it with the tiger? You know what I mean? Like that.
I don't think so, but that would have been easier.
Right?
Probably.
Weapon escapes from home. Like, wait, hold
on. Weapon on the run. Man no longer armed on bail for murder.
You're right.
Just a little update. The authorities say that the hunt for the tiger is still on. The tiger seems to think that they have that backwards.
I love that.
Next headline. Texas judge blocks NRA from declaring bankruptcy.
I actually did read some interesting things about this. Hit us with the jokes. So there's like some interesting levels to this.
Yeah. So the Virginia-based company that's chartered as a nonprofit org in New York is being denied by a judge in Texas. Finally, some unity in this country.
Yeah, that's what's crazy to me is that it's based in Virginia, but they were chartered in New York, and then
as a nonprofit.
Well, I mean, I guess that's not the part that I'm confused about.
The grossest organization or association in like recent American history says they're a nonprofit, and you're like, but that's not the connotation.
You know what's weird though is if you look up like their donation things, it's actually less than a lot of other things that you would not expect.
Well,
which is very strange. But for them, it's mobilization. What they have is very heavy mobilization power.
Well, they were also sued 10 months ago for mismanagement of funds because they weren't a nonprofit. They were actually paying themselves a lot of money, and that's why they're filing for bankruptcy.
Wasn't that weird? Like the part of nonprofits that always confuses me is like a lot of like nonprofits like make a lot of money, and then you see it go, and it's like I wonder what I just don't know what the legal definition is of nonprofit. Isn't it like
So at the end of the day, the business itself cannot make a profit. So after payroll and donations, there cannot be any money left over. Payroll, donations, expenses, and then nothing else left over.
So they were essentially stockpiling
liquid assets, and that's why they're getting sued. Correct. I also don't know anything about this. So that's my
It was so I don't know specifics, but it sounded like they were misreporting what they were spending their money on. It was a mismanagement of funds. So
fraud.
So they were basically paying themselves a lot more than they were saying they were paying themselves.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's why they're trying to go to Texas and gotcha. And
right. So I mean, they actually said the NRA was filing bankruptcy in order to relocate its headquarters and escape oversight by New York regulators, which upstate New York was quoted as saying, good luck with that.
Good luck.
We've been trying.
You can't just declare bankruptcy to not
I do declare.
Bills. Like, that's not how that works.
Next headline. Why soaring stocks could be bad news for the economy. I mean, I get it, but it's very funny to read. Like,
I did not read this article, but I'm pretty sure the answer is because money isn't real, and the stock market is just the Barbie dream house for men.
Almost spat water out of my nose. At the image of like all stockbrokers just dressing up like Ken and walking like, "Sup, Barbie? Like, let's get some stocks." Like,
this is stockbroker Barbie.
Yeah.
And she just comes out and goes, "None of this is real." Ha 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 ha.
I'm a Barbie girl
in a make-believe world.
Funds are fantastic. I'm made of plastic.
So are they.
Yeah.
Next headline. Anti-Olympics protester crashes International Olympic Committee news conference. That just seems like a really bad place to crash for that person.
No, wait. To me, that sounds like the best.
The reading of it was weird to me. It was very much just like anti-ground skydiver crashes into ground.
Oh, no, that's fair. But it sounds like, man, he really doesn't like the Olympics and he crashed an Olympic event. Wait, man, you know what? I'll say this: dedication.
What he really did, the way that he got in is he gained access to the virtual conference by saying he was David O'Brien from Yahoo. And that was it. No further, like that was, boop, and he's in. So honestly, the International Olympic Committee deserves what they got for not remembering that Yahoo Answers has been dead for an entire month now. And and furthermore, that Yahoo as a search engine has been dead for like 10 years.
If not longer. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's really funny.
Next headline. I picked a headline today from Today, the silly news article that doesn't really post anything important. Because it was just so silly to me. And I was like, I have to put something that doesn't matter.
I love that.
So this is the headline from Today. See how Dylan Dreyer's baby news was the worst kept secret. I personally think they've done a pretty good job considering I have no idea who that is.
Could not tell you right now.
Yeah.
My whole life depended on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty good secret, actually.
Yeah.
I also just, but I don't know about like worst kept secret because like, remember when the government came out last year and was like, hey, aliens are real.
Yeah, when they released all the footage, like, here's all the footage.
And we were all like, oh, this is for sure the worst kept secret now. Considering you've just told us.
You've just stopped.
This is no longer a secret. That's how bad of a secret this is.
I think it's funny that they knew 2020 was so wild that they could drop something like that on us and we'd just all be like, we'll never remember this.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they said aliens are real, and we all went, about time.
Yeah, neat.
Cool, moving on.
Can we talk to him? Is it going to be like Paul? Is it going to be like that movie with Seth Rogen?
Do they speak English? Next headline. Immigration was top focus of early Biden coverage, especially among outlets with right-leaning audiences. In other news, the sun is bright. I just wish immigration was a top early focus of Biden instead of, just trying to look cool in aviators.
Oh my god.
Whoops.
Oh.
But then out here just spinning in circles going, I'm a savage. Like, just like...
I only speak facts, Ryan.
To be fair, aviators are pretty cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we do love...
Sure. Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, absolutely. So is improv. But moving on, last...
Wait, if you ever combine them together, oh my gosh, I feel the coolest.
Last headline for this week, Twitter was Trump's megaphone. His new blog isn't as powerful. All I wrote for this one is just that I don't think this headline needs me to write jokes for it.
That's true. Oh man, it's still, I love the image of Trump as a travel blogger. I just think it's so funny to me, the image of going from like super political to just non-political at all, just like, have you guys been to the Florida Keys in August?
I'm just picturing now, like, hunched over in a dark room alone on his iPad, just like, this is the most perfect blueberry muffin recipe ever. But before I get into it, I have to tell you about the absolutely amazing method I found of putting Adderall inside the muffin before baking. You're gonna love it.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I hate the fact that you just said that, because if we post that clip to TikTok, there's gonna be 1,000 people that try baking Adderall into muffins.
I'm posting it.
I think you should. They should email the podcast to let us know what they find.
Yeah, is it good? Did it work?
They're going to have the energy to do it. I'll tell you that for free. Like, that's...
But that is all the breaking news for the week.
Ben, thanks for filling us in.
Yeah, let's run through all these audience submissions. We had a lot. They keep growing. So I'll take Dan's and mine.
Cool.
So let's just jump in.
Because you've seen me screw that up so many times, you're like,
I'll take this one, Ryan. Don't worry.
I appreciate you knowing.
Okay. This one is Jared S. says, "Hi guys, I love the podcast. I was wondering, Ben and Ryan, what's the most gay thing about you? And Dan, what is the most straight thing about you?" So okay, we had to move this one over to this week because you left early last week. And so now Dan's gone, so we're going to have to move it over again. We'll answer that one next week, Jared. I promise, maybe.
Jared, we do want to answer this, because now that I know that this exists, this is so fantastic. Right? I love this question so much. All right. Kristen R. Last episode of Fan asked how you handle stress and anxiety. And lately I've been going through a lot of stress and honestly depression and anxiety, both due to circumstances of previous diagnosis of moderate depression and anxiety. I say this all watching your podcast on YouTube and watching your TikToks have helped me. Also, Ryan, I feel you on the whole not eating and stress and losing weight that you can't afford to lose. Sorry for the long message. All I want to say is really enjoy the podcast and I appreciate you. Oh, that's not a question. That's just sweet. That's just so nice. Kristen, I do want to let you know that life does come in cycles. It kind of goes like a sine wave. I won't tell you right now. I hate it when people go, it's going to get better, because sometimes it might get worse before it gets better. That's a very real way to look at life.
But it will eventually get better.
It will eventually get better. And also, it will change.
Relative to other things, it's already better.
Yeah. I think that's
good and bad are relative concepts. So just expand your focus.
Mm-hmm. That's a helpful way to look at it.
I mean, don't actually do that, because that's not like a thing that your psyche can just do. But like, if you can do it,
if you have the ability, and with that. But yeah, I just want to let you know that, like, hey, we're all rooting for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here to support us. Yeah, it's just nice. All right, Ben. Bless you.
There we go. Moving on. Anna G says, "This isn't so much a question as it's a personal story, but at my college, it's a thing for guys to ride Vespas / off-brand Vespas everywhere. In my freshman year, while I was walking to the cafeteria, 2 guys on one scooter legitimately catcalled me, and it came from the guy riding on the back. I said this because of your boom scooter bit from episode 8. Y'all are great, and I love watching the podcast on YouTube."
I love that so much. You literally lived TLC's No Scrubs.
Yeah.
I don't want no scrubs. Scrub is a guy that
can't get no love from me.
Oh.
It's a guy what is a scrub? It's a guy riding bitch on a Vespa on a college campus trying to catcall me.
Oh my gosh.
That's fantastic. I hope you told him that no, because he's a scrub. I hope you yelled that.
Right.
We might never know. This next question comes to us from the Fanto Geek. This is a question directed at Dan. Well, okay, the Fanto Geek. We're gonna have to ask it next week. Thank you.
We love you and appreciate the attempt. We'll do it at another point.
Kelly, this next question is from Kelly, which is my last name, spelled exactly like it. So Kelly, first off, nice. Second off, hey guys, look forward to podcasts each and every week, as I know it will always make me laugh. What is your favorite joke to tell? Ooh, Ben, what's your favorite joke to tell?
Okay, my favorite non-stand-up joke to tell. I think we'll do street jokes. We'll do what's your favorite quick street joke to tell, and then we can do our favorite stand-up jokes on a different episode. But my favorite street joke to tell, it's a two-parter. What's black and white and 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 black and white?
What?
It's a penguin rolling down a hill.
That's cute.
What's black and white and laughing?
What?
The penguin that pushed him.
I like that a lot.
So dumb. That's my favorite. I can't ever get rid of that one.
I love that a lot. Probably my favorite that I like, my go-to that I just like will fire out during conversations whenever people go like straight up or say like do we go straight or things like that. I'm like, no, like does the road go straight? I'm always like, no, it goes very gay. Just because I think it's just a funny thing that like we refer like that means two different things. So I'm always like, no, it's not, because I'm just imagining like, what does that mean to a road? What does that mean to these things?
Wordplay.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just dumb is what it means. As far as stand-up goes, like my stuff is all storytelling based, so like
yeah,
it's
me
a little
too.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Matthew W. This question is for Dan and Ben. Okay, well, Matthew, we're going to answer your question next week. The question after that, Anonymous. Hello again, GDFM podcast. A challenge for you. Comedians are often good imitators. Your challenge is to do your best imitation of your fellow podcasters. Bonus points if you incorporate a prop. Also, current standings as of May 8th. Ryan, 3 points. First place answers. Dan, 4 points, third place answers, but bonus points for an exceptional acceptance speech. And then Ben, 2 points, second place answers, but you were probably shooting for that. Fair enough. Side note, let us know if you enjoy doing these, and we'll keep sending them. Cheers. I enjoy this. I don't know what it means, but...
I love it. I think they're rating every time we impersonate each other, and I love that a lot.
No, I mean, they're asking us to do it right now, do an imitation of me.
Oh my gosh. Wait, do you want to hit me? Do you want to hit me first?
No, because I have an idea. And I don't want to add. I don't want to give you ideas.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh man. Well, do we wait for Dan to come back so we all hit each other?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is just gonna be a lot of. Let's. Okay. This next one.
Dan heavy questions.
This is very Dan heavy, or at least the trifecta of us all. We got a question from Megan J. Hey, what's the best Disney movie? Also, I Googled, is the ocean soup? And I got some parts of the ocean do reach temperatures of boiling or above. Some forms of life have adapted to live there. That's true, like tardigrades or whatnot. Therefore, we can infer that parts of the ocean are, in fact, soup. Also, for history with Ryan, so can you talk about the Night Witches from WW2? I actually am planning on doing a episode of my series that I'm running Yesterday Today on the Night Witches. They're super cool. They're amazing.
Real quick, I just want to say ocean, not soup. The fact that organisms have adapted to live there tells me that they haven't been cooked. Just because it's boiling does not mean you've cooked them. If they're living there, they're not cooked.
You need things that are still alive.
Yeah, but that's not soup, Ryan.
If I threw it in water, it'd be soup.
That's not how soup works, Ryan.
I feel like it is. I've got nothing to back up.
You can't just make up the definition of soup, Ryan.
No, you're right.
Soup is soup.
Here's the thing. I know you're right, but I feel it differently. And I know that's the worst. And I hate me for. I know I hate me for saying it too. But by the way, the best Disney movie is the movie Atlantis, followed closely by Treasure Planet and Emperor's New Groove.
The best Disney movie is absolutely the Aristocats, and there's no other answer.
I'm loving that you said that. I love it, and it makes me love you as a human being more.
It ain't Beethoven, Mama, but it sure bounces.
It sure bounces. Okay, it's good. We got our next one from Kane.
Kane D says, really appreciate your podcast. Name. About time you guys finally got one. But my question is, what would be the worst place to scream fire?
Hospital.
Okay. Hospital. Sure.
Okay.
The worst place to scream fire would be while standing in front of a firing line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. That's. Yep.
I thought it was a joke. Oh,
I love it. I love it a lot. just getting ready to be executed. You just say it early. Fire.
I got him.
Yeah.
I got the last word. Ha!
Yeah.
Next question. Artemis says, so hi.
Nah, Dan
question...
might be it. It's Dan.
Yeah, but we'll still ask it. So hi, question for all of you. Dan might answer the best, however, but when you are in a relationship with someone and they completely disrespect you, aka call you a bitch, what would you do/say? This happened to me and I'm still pretty hurt from it, but he's apologized. But honestly, I'm not sure what to do. Any advice? Anything helps at this point, LOL. Also, love the podcast. I listen to it while at work. So I do want to say that I did respond to this email with some advice that I have. And the first and most important thing that you can do in a relationship like this is to communicate your discomfort. And there's a few steps to doing this. So you say what it is specifically that made you uncomfortable. You say why it made you uncomfortable and how to avoid that in the future. Now, the problem with this is that, like, it shouldn't be on you to do all of this. But if this is a relationship that you care about, this is how you build that communication. Because there's 3 steps to the proper apology. And that's acknowledging what you did, why it's bad, and how you're going to fix it in the future. That is how you do the proper apology. So if they don't know what it is they did, why it hurt, or how they can avoid it in the future, then they don't know how to effectively become a better person in that relationship. So if someone's disrespecting you in that relationship and you've already discussed, like, hey, this is a thing I don't appreciate, here's why, don't do that, and they still continue to do it, that's when you need to have more respect for yourself than they have for you, and peace out of that relationship. Because there's better things out there for you, and being single is one of them.
Yeah. I think this also, like, depends, like, I don't know the context of the relationship, and I don't know the context of, like, why that was called or things like that. I feel like there's, like, but I do think that, like, that's never a good sign. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But what I can tell you though is, like, but here's the thing, like Ben would call me that, like, just like because I do improv. You know what I mean? So maybe if, like, that's an ongoing joke, maybe, I don't know. That's where I say, like, context is very important. But also what I say for this is said sorry. Got to make sure that he's definitely going to change. I feel like that's very important. But also the fact that, like, I'm still not sure what to do. Hold on. If you can't forgive them and they have apologized, that's not their fault. That's a very important thing. Now, they screwed up for sure, but also you need to know that, like, if you can't forgive them, get out right now. Don't drag this on. It'll hurt you. It'll hurt them. It's not going to do anything. If you can't forgive them, and there's the thing, there's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. But you can't do the string along thing, because I've watched too many people go through that, and it's like, stop.
Maybe one day I'll be able to forgive them. Nope. Oh yeah, leave. That day is when you can talk to them again.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's the thing, it's like that's also unfair, and but I do think that, like, yeah, I think Ben's advice is great, and I feel like take that from what you're worth. We're also just comedians on the internet, so you know,
nothing we say matters.
We're just trying to get second place here. Okay, we got something from Princeton S, named after a very cool school. I love the podcast, and it brings me so much joy and entertainment. I really love you guys' dynamic. So I have a question, obviously. Would it be possible for you to make a Discord server? I love the community surrounding the podcast and would live for a place for us to congregate and talk. Just suggest. It's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah. Maybe one day soon. We have some other stuff on the back end of the podcast that we have to set up and get right. So absolutely, Discord server is on the table for things that we can do in the future.
Agreed. Yeah, that's cool.
This one is from Rose. It just says, I love your podcast. Thanks, Rose.
Thanks, Rose. We love you too. That makes me very happy.
This is from Victoria H. Hi, my name is Victoria. I'm a big fan of y'all's TikTok. Ryan is my favorite creator. Ben, your chaos is very calming to watch. And Dan reminds me of a giant squishmallow, which if he were here, I would ask him if that's a compliment. Anyway. Anyway, my questions are: 1, after graduating high school, how did you guys decide what to major in college? 2, Ryan and Ben, would you date someone who is part of the LGBTQ plus community and younger than you? So we'll start with 1. How did you figure out what you wanted to major in after high school, Ryan?
I went for engineering first because I thought it would pay the bills, and then I realized I hated it. I think, Ben, you also realized that it was not fun. Yeah. So but then I was going to do international relations for, like, government stuff, but
I also picked up business as a second major just because here's the thing. Like if I'm going to be paying this money to go to college, I need something that I can use as an actual functional degree afterwards. And so I picked function, and I think that was effective. And I would encourage, if you're going to college, pick something that's functional. Don't waste a ton of money on something that's not a good idea. Don't study what you love, study what pays your bills. Because you know what? You can love something and then study it afterwards or study it in other ways. That's what I'd say.
Same boat, kind of, I think, of just like, I already kind of knew what I wanted to do after high school, and it was engineering, and that's what I went for, and that's what I studied. I got bored of it. I was like, this isn't fun, so I dropped out. If you do not know what you want to major in, do not pick anything. Don't go to college. Stop going to college. You are wasting your money by going to college. Right now, if college were free, stay in college forever. Never stop learning. But college isn't free, so you're wasting your money by going to a place and you don't even know what it is that you want to do. What I would recommend, honestly, get a list of a few things, jobs, career fields that you are interested in being a part of. Reach out to local businesses and see if they will let you shadow for a day. Go into those places of employment and say like, hey, I'm interested in majoring in this, but I don't want to waste money on something I might not like. Is it possible? Can I shadow an employee at this place? See what it's like. Sometimes something like that can turn into an actual employment opportunity where this job is now like, yeah, we will actually just pay for you to finish your degree so you can come back and work for us. But don't go into college if you don't know what it is you want to study.
And if you don't know, but you are for some reason set on like going and because I do think that's a fantastic idea and you should definitely do it. Community college, it's so much cheaper and it's great. It's great. Yeah, definitely do that.
The second question was, Ryan and Ben, would you date someone who is part of the LGBTQ plus community and younger than you?
I have dated someone who's part of the LGBTQ plus community, and I've dated someone that's younger than me. It was not the same person. She was actually older than me, the girl that I dated who was LGBT. But yeah, so I guess the answer is yes, I've done both.
That's a weird question to me. Because at a certain degree, I'm not the person you to be asking. Like the first question is asking them, like, are you one of the letters that even makes you attracted to me?
You're right, because I don't think L is gonna be.
I'm not dating an L. I'm not dating a G.
Yeah, no,
because I'm not a G.
I feel like this question really is Ryan or Ben. Would you date a bisexual girl? Like, I feel like that's what this is like.
That's what it was. Yeah. Would you date somebody who's attracted to you and you're attracted to as well?
Yeah. So the answer is yeah. I mean, that's just pretty.
But what if they're younger than you?
You mean that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Everyone always says, like, what if they're younger than you?
21 and up. That's my cutoff.
There it is. Like, because it's like, yeah, I'm not looking for felonies here. Good Lord.
No.
You can't say just younger than. If you're ever going to ask this question, like, because people ask it in lives all the time, say like blank or up. Don't go just younger. Because it's. Yeah.
So the way that, I don't know where I heard this. I'm pretty sure I heard it on a sitcom, but it doesn't really matter. The way that you're supposed to figure out your lower limit is by adding 7 to your age and then halving it. So mine would be 16.
Yeah, buddy.
That is supposed to be.
It's also ad legality.
And obviously I'm not going. Did I do the math right?
Let me see.
Yeah. So mine would be 16, but I just say 21 because I don't. Like, if you can't drink, if you're not 21 and up, you can't even come to most of my shows. So.
I just love that so much where it's like, and you need to be there. Like, that's.
You don't need to be there, but, like, it's nice to have the option.
No, I get that. I do get that. There's something nice about just being able to, like, have a drink with someone. Like.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Never had an alcohol.
You know what? It works. It does. It works. I get like, hey, your tummy is never going to feel super upset because you had too many alcohols.
It's upset for other normal reasons.
Yeah, right. Dude, I rarely drink just because of that, because my stomach is like, don't do it. And I'm like, okay, I could do that. Anyway, our next question is from Val W. Hey guys, I'm back again with questions for everyone. Ben, are you still obsessed with the sister? I keep forgetting her name. I'm sorry. I love that so much.
Her name is Gracie. Please show some respect. They have an album coming out on July 23rd, and you're going to listen to it. So
I feel like the whole podcast is going to have to, like, that might be the end of the podcast. It's just us listening to this album, just like, yes!
I'm not obsessed. It just seems like it a lot.
Ben, can me and Dan at least go to the wedding if you do marry her? Like, I feel like
Ryan, if you don't officiate it, I'm upset.
Yes! Oh my gosh, I'm stoked.
Our podcast needs to get bigger so I can approach their agent with our podcast. But what? Never mind. Go on.
I was about to say, yeah. I was like, do you want us to reach out to it so it's not weird for you? Because we can definitely do that. It could be either me or yeah.
Do I still also send them like a message on TikTok, like, hey, just letting you know, I just have a podcast. It's pretty big. Asked to interview you. Email.
Yeah. Hi. How do you? My name's Ben.
Can you marry me?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the questions that we can't ask during the thing is, hey, Gracie, question for you and you specifically. Would you marry Ben?
I know you guys are going to mention it.
I actually won't because I'm not that guy. I can't do it. That's too much throwing you under the bus.
I don't care. But the thing is, you would have to bring it up to her before the podcast. That's not something you can spring on a woman in front of stuff. So if you ask her beforehand, if this is like a funny thing because you want to embarrass me, absolutely, I don't care. But like, I know you or Dan want to, and it's just going to happen. Whether it's actually like set up or just it came out because that's what you really wanted to talk about the whole time. Either way, in front of her brother.
I don't think I could do it. And the reason why is because awkward comedy is not my style of comedy. I don't like that. Like, I'm already awkward enough in real life. I don't need to add awkward to comedy. You know what I mean? Like, that we're fine. But yeah, so I guess the answer is Ben is still obsessed with her, like the sister, in a positive, like really healthy way.
Absolutely.
There's going to be marriage. Yeah. Soaring's my favorite ride because it's just pretty and sweet and simple. I just like it. I like that it's got some.
So Val knew immediately.
Yeah, Val knew. Val's 100%. I know I've said Soaring is my favorite ride before in like lives, but it's just so nice. It's just peaceful, and I like flying. I've jumped out of planes. I've flown planes. Like, I just want to. I like it. So it's just nice.
And then Dan, we'll have to ask this one.
Why does your sister date closeted men, and does she still? That I'm curious about the does she still? Like, I really want to know. I guess so.
On accident, we think. Next question is from Matthew C. I used to joke about naming my child Gettysburg. What name would you name your child if you had to name him after a major historical event?
I love this question so much. Okay, couple of things, because here's the thing. Like, I thought about naming a son Gideon, but it's not a great name, to be honest. Like, we know it's not a great name, but I love the story of Gideon from the Bible. That story of him, like, essentially like getting smaller and smaller units and then just tactically defeating an army because he just outplayed them. I think that's such a cool concept. So I love him as like, he's my favorite judge. But I don't know if I had to name it after like an event, maybe like Argonne, because like the Argonne Offensive, or like, gosh, I'm trying to think of like, of what would be like a cool thing. Because you also got to make sure that's a good name.
Oh,
and that stuff.
No, you don't, but it helps.
It's
a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, what if I was just War of 1812? What's your name? War of 1812. There's actually 3 of me. I've got my brother, War of 1812, but it was the 13th because it kept going for years. Yeah, Ben, what about you? What horrific?
I don't like how you just immediately horrific.
I saw your face, man. I saw what your face was doing.
I made a face because I can't control it, and I had a good idea. It's not okay. I know you're expecting something off the wall, a little bit odd. I can't imagine why you would think that, but I promise it's actually a cool one. And then I'll give you the other option that was my actual first thought, and then. But my official answer is Harper, because of John Brown.
Harper's Ferry.
Harper's Ferry. Cool. Yeah.
That's actually a good answer. I like that a lot.
Well, okay. So my second thought. So that was my third thought. My second thought was gonna be a Potawatomi. Because John Brown burned that entire city to the ground just to pay back the people that kidnapped 2 of his sons.
Yeah.
And while walking away from that fire, he said out loud, "God sees it," and just kept walking. And that's just super. My very first thought was going to be to name my son or daughter Cruci, which is short for crucifixion.
Crucifixion, yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's a major historical event.
It is a major historical event.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like Cruci would be a good one.
I feel like that answers that question. Any other? Honestly, my third thought was defenestration. The defenestration of Prague. Assault by being thrown out a window. Oh, I love that so much.
Okay, next one's from... what did you say yours was? You didn't say one, did you?
Gideon or...
Gideon, okay.
I like Gideon a lot, yeah. But that's probably more of a middle name. I actually probably will go with that for middle name for if I have a kid. I just like it. Yeah.
Harper Gideon Kelly.
Right, we're getting married, Ben.
Guys, this is where we had too many LGBTQs for the straights, and we got questions and found answers.
Yeah, we were questioning. We're like, you know what? This does make sense.
This does. We're the same person, really. If we dated Ben, that's just narcissism. Like,
yeah, that's us looking into a mirror and going, "I would date me."
I like me. Yeah.
Next question from Anna W. This one has 2 parts and is for everyone. What is your zombie apocalypse plan, and what song or band will you be listening to? Thank you. Hope everyone is having a good week.
That's such a good question. But do we want to save it for Dan because this is a trifecta? This is such a good question.
Yeah.
I love this question. Anna, I'm stoked to answer this. This is so good.
Okay, and then you have the last question, Ryan.
This is perfect because this is just for us too. The more we learn about Ryan and Ben, the more it feels like they somehow escaped being the lead in an action movie out of sheer chance. What would be the
Yeah,
plot?
I don't know where that came from.
What?
No.
What would the plot of the action movie you should have been in?
Okay, so I feel like we would be in the same movie, and it would be sort of like a buddy cop thing movie in like the sense that you're the well-trained, intelligent spy, and I'm just like an old high school friend that you're visiting with your time off, and we're hanging out, whatever, and some just major organized crime happens in front of us. One of our family members gets kidnapped, something very Liam Neeson-esque, and you turn the switch on. You're like, we have to get him back. And I'm just like, do we have to, though? And
do we need to?
You can get another wife. Like, they're everywhere, right? And just the whole movie is you knowing exactly what to do, when to do it, and where to do it. And then me being dragged along and doing everything on accident very well. Just like that, just the picture of like the group fight scene where you're fighting 3 guys at one time, and I'm just like, I open the door, I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I close the door, and like someone throws something at me, and I hit the door, like, all right, and then I just close the door, and someone swings a bat, but it hits the other enemy that was on the other side of the door, and I come back in with like popcorn, and people like slipping on the butter that I'm dropping on the ground. And then by the end of it, you finally get like 2 guys down. You turn around, the whole room's done, and I'm just like, where'd these guys come from?
What happened here? By the way, I want that whole monologue right there animated. That's what I want more than anything in my entire life. Also, Ben, I love that what you just described is Central Intelligence, the movie with The Rock and Kevin Hart. Like, that's what that is.
You're
right?
The Rock, I'm Kevin Hart.
Which is so funny because when you say that, I picture me being bad at my job and like being like, Ben, I need help, and then
me just
yeah, like both of us being terrible at it, you just choosing to not really want to help but still helping in effective ways.
Yeah, and just with like, a frown on my face the whole time, just, you guys are annoying me. Like, at one point there's like a gun to both of our heads, and I'm just like, really? Is this how we're doing Tuesdays now?
Right.
Like, and the guy's like, what? What did you say? And I'm just like, bro, I haven't even had lunch yet, dude. Like, Why? Why are we? You're so, and you're just like, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Shut up. Ben's literally asked her, is this what you wanted to do when you grew up? Is this really what you wanted to do? Like, just...
I know, and like, I don't, yeah, your parents are disappointed in you, sure, but like, you're disappointed in you too, and that has to hurt worse.
Oh my God.
And he's like, I am.
I don't want to be here anymore. Then he leaves. I'm like, how did you do that? And it's like, I got him. Like,
you know what's way more effective than physically overpowering people? Mentally overpowering them. If you can destroy their psyche and become the person that their therapist knows about, you've won.
man, I feel like you and me would make a very oddly good hostage negotiation team.
Because we wouldn't. Because we wouldn't. We would spend more time negotiating with each other on tactics.
Oh my gosh, you're right. And at a certain point, that person would get bored and be like, I'm turning myself in. I just don't want to hear them debate anymore. Like,
yeah. I like, he'd be like, I need this and this. And I'd be like, no. And he'd be like, you can't just say no. And I'm like, I just told it. Like, he's not getting this stuff. Does he think he's getting a helicopter? Where does he think we're not? We don't have a helicopter, dude. Like,
yeah,
did you
who's
have
gonna fly that?
Listen, talk to me, buddy. When was the last time you were thinking, you're like, yeah, I know how to get a helicopter? Because same. Like, that's not a thing that we just have. That's not knowledge anybody... Bro, you want me to go to Yellow Pages right now and be like, helicopters for rent? And you're back there just like, cut them off. Get Ben off the phone.
Don't do it. Actually, at a certain point, I'd be like, no. I kind of want to see where he's going with this. Like,
I had no plan.
Yeah, that's where I want to see where it ends. Yeah, he goes there with no plan.
Do you want a scooter? I can literally take a scooter from a child right now. Like, that's easy.
Yeah, we're gonna get it Razor. If you want to, we can like put a little engine on it. It'll be cute. Like, that's, if you can spin and do tricks, that's as close to a helicopter as you're getting. Okay, there, bud.
He's gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, what are you even doing this for? And he's gonna be like, I want money. I'm like, money's not even real, dude. Like, you're doing all of you're inconveniencing so many lives for a thing that's not even like, you can just print money. You know, did you know that?
Do you know how much effort you're putting into something that just feels so not worth it?
You could have done this from home.
You could have done this from home.
Look around you. The bank tellers don't want to be there, man. They would have just given you the money if you asked nicely.
Do you see Janine behind there? She thought about calling out today and is regretting it heavily since she walked in.
Just let Janine out, man, because she doesn't want to be here. Or feed her. Like, put the gun away, dude. Like, you're ruining lives right now.
Be hospitable.
You're so, bro, empathy. You ever heard of it?
I ever heard of empathy? Yeah. Bring it home. Bring it all home. Let's stop making this ridiculous.
Bro, if you come out right now, I won't arrest you. I'm lying, but I won't.
Honestly, I won't. I'll have someone else do it. Ryan, are you bored right now? Yeah. Well, go arrest him.
Go get the guy.
Yeah, go get the guy. He said he wouldn't arrest me. No, he said he wouldn't arrest you. I'm very bored, and I like this part.
You gotta learn to listen to the fine print, my guy.
Right.
Hey, okay, I have a deal for you, okay? Ready? Okay, I have a deal for you. Look, no one's gonna chase you except for me. No weapons allowed, no vehicles. If you can get away for 5 minutes on foot from just me, you can keep the money.
Just the image of you already being in front of him, like the Flash.
That a deal? Is that, yeah, and I would give him a 3-minute head start.
Oh, yeah.
I would be I would be running next to him, just going, you have like 2 minutes left. Just let you know. And then I would back away from him. And he's like, no, like that's not. And I was like, I'll be here.
You're like a phantom. Just, hey, I just let you know you got this much time left. Goodbye.
I would ruin his day.
Yeah, you would. And it would be beautiful. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's what we have for today.
That's all. Thank you all so much for listening. I know we rearranged this to take less time, but I kind of got into story time. Whoops, sorry, my bad.
So much fun.
I love story time, and I hope you do too. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. If you want to catch us anywhere else, you can find Dan. He's everywhere on Dan Ban Bam, except for Snapchat. His name on Snapchat is something else. I forget what it is. Ryan?
Dan YOLO Love or something like that.
Yeah. Now I was going to ask about where they can find you, but...
youthpassryan.com. It's got all the links to all my things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you can find me at benbrainard.com. You can find the podcast at GDFMpodcast.com. GDFMpodcast.com. You can contact the podcast at podcast@GDFMpodcast.com. We do this every week. Next week, we'll be interviewing the band Ripe, so we hope to see you there. With all that said, bye!
Bye!